Hey there, welcome to our website, hybridbatteryrebuild.com. I'm glad that I have the opportunity to talk with you, although I certainly do wish that it was on better terms. Chances are, if you're hearing me talk, then you're having some sort of problems with your Prius battery. The good news, however, is that we are going to do what we can to get you up and running here for as cheap and as quickly as possible. So if you could, just hang tight with us for a couple minutes and we'll show you exactly what we got going on. Okay, now before I go any further, let me just take a quick sec here and introduce myself. My name is Pete, and I am the co-founder here of HybridBatteryRebuild.com. The reason why we came up with this guide is to give Prius owners an easy-to-follow resource to fixing their Prius battery as opposed to replacing the Prius battery. Now, for those of you who have taken your car into Toyota and have been told that the main Prius battery is dying, you know the cost. We're looking anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 to replace this battery. For those of you that haven't taken your car into Toyota, we actually encourage that you do that. Number one, so you know exactly what the problem is, and number two, that you understand that this is not a made-up number. This is a real number that Toyota is attempting to charge people for a new Prius battery. Now, up until recently, when that main Prius battery went bad, Prius owners were essentially faced with a choice. Number one, being of course to replace the battery, spending the $4,000 to get a new one, or simply get rid of their car. And that actually makes sense. If you have a 2002 Prius and the battery went bad and it's going to cost you, $3,800 to replace it, does it really make sense to put that kind of money into your Prius? Probably not. But nonetheless, those were choices that Prius owners were faced with. Now, notice how I started that off, though, up until recently. Those, of course, being the operative words. See, we've developed a comprehensive step-by-step guide that will explain to you in detail how you, the Prius owner, are going to fix this battery yourself. Here's a brief description of how this works. See, inside your main Prius battery, or the traction battery, you'll hear it be called as well. Inside that battery are cells. These battery cells are essentially what power your car. As the car gets older and more use, these cells will actually start to deteriorate and start failing. As this happens, your main Prius battery will start to fail as well. It's really no different than say your cell phone battery or your laptop battery. Through use and through time, they just start to fail. But nonetheless, here's where the problem is. See, Toyota dealerships will not fix these batteries. Now, they're happy to replace them, but they will not fix them. And because they won't fix them, these batteries are in such high demand that it actually allows Toyota to charge so much money. If we're talking $4,000, it's all it is simply supply and demand. As the cars get older, these batteries supply start to diminish. As they diminish, naturally they can charge more. So what we did is sort of found a way to backdoor that problem by actually rebuilding that your Prius battery. And the best part is it's for a fraction, just a mere fraction of what a new battery will cost you. So I know it sounds a bit complicated, but I promise you it really isn't. There's essentially 5 steps that our guide will walk you through. Okay. Step number 1, we're going to help you diagnose your battery problem. We're going to identify what exactly the problem is. Okay, that's the first step in any problem, is diagnosing it. Number 2, we're going to show you how and where to purchase the parts needed for the rebuild. 3, you're obviously going to have to remove the battery from the car. Step 4, you're going to rebuild the battery itself. And then number 5, naturally we've got to put the battery back in the car. Still don't believe me? It still sounds a little too complex. Let's take a look here, and I want to show you the kind of tools that you're going to need to do this. Pretty straightforward. I would imagine that you can find these tools in just about any household here. See this right here? These are the tools that you're going to need. Let's see, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tools. See, it's nothing extensive, nothing out of the ordinary. Real simple. Now, through the course of the 5 steps, we're going to be with you each step of the way. We start with pictures, much like this one here. And we'll give you another example. Okay, just bear with me a second here. See, here's a very detailed picture of the actual traction battery itself. Okay, and of course the tools. Here's your basic wiring, folks. This is really outlined, really nice for you to easily follow. Okay, so we have the pictures. Next, we're going to show you where to get the parts. We're going to tell you how much you should be spending on these parts, just to make sure that you're getting the not only the best price possible, but the best parts possible as well. Lastly, and this is probably the coolest thing, in my opinion. We actually have a support forum. It's much like a chat forum or a chat room, that actually comes free with the subscription of this guide. The forum actually allows members who have subscribed, to ask questions about the rebuild anytime, day or night. Essentially, it's like having an open line to a mechanic to tell you, the owner, exactly how they're going to fix your car. It's really well worth its weight in gold there. I mean, I guess what we're really trying to get at here is that we're not going to allow you to buy the guide and then leave you hang out there to dry. We've developed this guide to help people, not to leave them stranded. From start to finish, we're here with you. Okay? Maybe something isn't clear. Maybe you don't understand the picture. Just ask. We'll get you through it. I promise you. So that's just a brief overview of what our site offers and what our guide will do for you. We know that we'll be able to get your Prius up and running in no time. Okay, so feel free to ask us any questions, day or night. You can actually email us here at the email address is all the way up top here. I'll show you where it's at here. Right here. Feel free to email us if you have any questions before or after you purchase the guide. Otherwise, we will see you on the other side. Okay? We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.